Well, my friends, it looks like the censorship has begun on Rotten Tomatoes. But before we get to that, I just want to give a quick message of thanks for the overwhelming amount of support on the last video I put out. You guys have been awesome and I thank you all for that. Just wanted y'all to know that the support is definitely appreciated. As always, links to the previous videos are in the description down below for those who happen to miss them, and if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they've done it. A few hours ago, into the tail end of February 25th, 2019, Rotten Tomatoes officially removed the not interested option for upcoming movies' audience anticipation ratings. Now, if we can all bow our heads in silence and press F to pay respects for our fallen comrade. Now, I can't really say I'm all that surprised by this decision. Ever since the audience anticipation rating reached below 50% a week ago, I've been kind of waiting for the ball to drop. Obviously, the last video that I made, I spoke about it being in the 40s. Over the weekend, it dropped into the 30s. And just a couple of hours ago, it reached an all-time low of 27%. And that already abysmal rating of 27% was the last straw for Rotten Tomatoes, because God knows it wasn't going to stop there. Now, to address this, Rotten Tomatoes put out a post on their blog titled, "Hello, we're making some changes." Starting this week, Rotten Tomatoes will launch the first of several phases of updates that will refresh and modernize our audience rating system. We're doing it to more accurately and authentically represent the voice of fans, while protecting our data and public forums from bad actors. As of February 25, we will no longer show the want to see percentage score for a movie during its pre-release period. Why, you might ask? Well, obviously because Captain Marvel shit the bed, but you're not gonna say that, are you? We found that the want to see percentage score is oftentimes confused with the audience score percentage number. The audience score percentage, for those who haven't been following, is the percentage of all users who have rated the movie or TV show positively. That is, given it a star rating of 3.5 or higher, and is only shown once the movie or TV show is released. What you will see now at the top of a movie or TV page once it has been released is this. What else are we doing? We are disabling the comment function prior to a movie's release date. Unfortunately, we have seen an uptick in non-constructive input, sometimes bordering on trolling, which we believe is a disservice to our general readership. We have decided that turning off this feature for now is the best course of action. Don't worry though, fans will still get to have their say. Once a movie is released, audiences can leave a user rating and comments as they always have. At the bottom of their post, they have a "What do you think?" 1,138 responses. It didn't have a "you guys are pussies" option, so I just clicked angry. Engaging from these response options, only upvote and love are the positive responses to this. So 96 plus 15, 111 out of 1,138 gives it an approval rating of 9.75%. Good job, Rotten Tomatoes. So my favorite part about that whole post was that we're doing it to more accurately and authentically represent the voice of the fans. Which in this case is just the very definition of irony. You're literally removing the voice of the fans in order to accurately represent the voice of the fans. Whichever moron wrote that line in particular might have a possible future at themarysue.com. Because god damn it, dude. That was bad. The other part of interest is them saying that the want to see percentage score is oftentimes confused with the audience rating score. The reason this is interesting is that this is the narrative that the SJW media have been taking this past week, saying that Captain Marvel is being review bombed, you know, people are leaving negative reviews. Every single one of them. And I mean, that's part of the reason why this is happening. So in a way, the SJW media being complete and utter morons calling these reviews to begin with kind of helped their case. Because on one hand, Rotten Tomatoes can look at it and be like, well, if these mainstream journalist morons are too stupid to understand that these are not reviews, then maybe the general public might also be stupid enough to believe that these are reviews. The part that kind of rubs me the wrong way is the non-constructive input borderline trolling portion of this post. Because everything we've been saying up to this point is constructive criticism. Because it's providing them with the reasons as to why people do not want to watch this movie. The Business Dictionary definition says, what is constructive criticism? criticism, often containing helpful and specific suggestions for positive change. Constructive criticism is highly focused on a particular issue or set of issues, as opposed to providing general feedback on the item or organization as a whole. So for instance, a statement like Captain Marvel is going to suck because the MCU sucks. That's not constructive criticism. The statement, I refuse to watch this movie because the lead actress is a racist and a sexist, is constructive criticism because you're providing an actual valid reason as to why you're choosing not to watch the movie. That's why constructive criticism exists, so these companies can look at these reasons and make better decisions moving forward. Like for other companies, maybe the message is do not hire Brie Larson, because whether or not this movie does well, she's a PR nightmare, you don't want to deal with that. And for Marvel, maybe consider not making her the face of 5 major future MCU installments. It really blows my mind that Disney has not learned from the Star Wars thing. I mean, look at how bad Solo did. That is a possible future for the MCU if you keep going down this route. And silencing this negative feedback that is still constructive criticism is preventing you from gaining the information necessary to prevent that from happening. There are certain industries that actually pay for this information. They pay for companies to go around and find out why people don't like their shit. You are blessed to be in an industry where we, the fans, provide you that input for free. So once again, 27% was the final nail in the coffin. If you go to the Rotten Tomatoes page for Captain Marvel now, this is what you'll see. So as you can see at the bottom, it says want to see 15,000 users or whatever. So that is a count of all the people that clicked want to see and removed all of the user ratings that voted not interested. Some of you may think that, oh, if I click that, it will lead me to another page where it will show me what the want to see percentage is and I'll have the option of clicking want to see or not interested. No, clicking that just adds one more to the user rating of people that want to see it. You can't even retract it. Like once you click it, it's permanent. There's no option to remove your vote. And then like their blog post described, you don't even have the option of leaving a comment anymore. So did Disney have a hand in taking down the not interested option? It's definitely possible. I mean, Disney's a huge, powerful giant of a company, and we've seen them flex their muscles before. Just look at the EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 situation, for fuck's sake. Years and years of grimy practices by EA, and the moment they do it to the Star Wars franchise, Disney steps in and is like, nah, you gotta fix this. But ultimately, I don't really think it's just Disney flexing their muscles here. I think it's just Rotten Tomatoes made this decision on their own. Because at the end of the day, Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango, which for those that don't know is an American ticketing company that sells movie tickets through their website and mobile app. Every time they talk about, oh, the Captain Marvel pre-sale tickets are looking great, that's Fandango statistics that they're talking about. And Fandango only cares about ticket sales. Obviously, this Captain Marvel reaching an audience anticipation rating of 27% does not help them get any more of those juicy pre-release tickets, or any tickets at all. But obviously the pre-release ones are contingent on people looking up online to see whether a movie is going to be good or not on release. So when these people look it up and they see that 27% want to see score, do you think they'll be more inclined to get one of those pre-release tickets? Of course not. They cannot have their own platform be the thing that's responsible for them to actually lose money. Bringing up Solo again, but they probably saw what happened with Solo. I think it reached like 40 something percent before that movie came out, and they probably put 2 and 2 together that, oh, well, that kind of affected sales a little bit, so they finally put their foot down on this Captain Marvel thing. Ultimately, they want every rating to be positive. They want as many people to want to watch as many movies as they can so they can possibly purchase their tickets through Fandango.com. And that's the sad reality of it. As much as we want that option to be available for us to tell these companies why they should or should not be doing the things that they're doing, there aren't a lot of means in order to do so. And ones that do exist, like this Rotten Tomatoes thing that existed up until a few hours ago, are owned by a ticketing company of all goddamn things. So, I mean, what can you do? Obviously, the only other thing you can do is just don't go watch the movie. Vote with your wallet. Don't let them force feed you their activist bullshit. The funny thing about all of this is I think this is gonna backfire on Disney mainly, not Rotten Tomatoes, even though I think that it's actually Rotten Tomatoes' decision to do this. people are gonna treat this like Disney silenced the criticism. Because like I said, that's also a possibility. Maybe it was a joint operation of sorts, and like we see with anything on the internet, when you try to cover something up, it just brings so much more attention to it. And for those that didn't know, that is called the Streisand effect. Named after Barbara Streisand, it refers to the unintended consequence of further publicizing information by trying to have it censored, which is going to be Captain Marvel in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. So before we end this off, I just wanted to go over quickly the Zachary Levi Shazam actor defends Captain Marvel video that went out as the Rotten Tomatoes audience anticipation rating was going down.
There are people out there making a lot of like really inflammatory, defamatory, and completely fictitious like reviews and posts of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, and some like trying to pit Shazam against it, and saying they're going to support us and not them because of things that they are, by the way, making up. Things that they're saying they saw some screening and this, that, or the other is in the movie. That I just found this out last night, and for anyone out there who thinks you're doing me a favor, or you're doing Shazam a favor, or you're doing Warner Brothers, or what, you're not. This is not helping anyone or anything. There is no competition. Just because Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel way back in the day doesn't mean that somehow Brie or Marvel's Captain Marvel are pitted against us. We're both movies, and we're both going to be out in theaters at similar times, and the irony of that timing is really interesting for sure. But there is no conspiracy, guys. You need anyone out there who's holding on to some bone like they need to pick a side and pick a fight is sorely mistaken, and I really hope that you'll just chill on that. Don't go and engage in that type of behavior anymore. If you want to be passionate about either movie, rock and roll. If you want to be passionate about both movies, rock and roll. But going, this is really low blow type of stuff. To be going and lying, first of all, is just, the bottom of the barrel to me. But to be lying in an attempt to discredit or defame somebody, I think is just really sad. So
now, if you watch this, it's frustrating only because you can see how completely uninformed he is. Like, he seems like a nice guy, but obviously somebody told him of what was going on, but it was completely false information. Yeah, I've seen certain people say that, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch the real Captain Marvel instead. Because in the 50s or 60s or whatever, Shazam was named Captain Marvel, and then there was a whole copyright thing with Marvel a few years later. And I've seen just a very minor amount of posts that were pitting Captain Marvel against Shazam. But somehow, the information that he was provided is that that is the reason for all the hatred towards Brie Larson. To the point that, inflammatory, defamatory, fictitious posts about Brie are being made. No, they're not. He even mentions a screening, which is interesting because as far as I know, they've only allowed screenings for the far left SJW media. So I don't think any of those people would be the ones posting negative to say about their activist, feminist, hero, outspoken political thought Brie. And the way he ends it off by saying that, but lying to defame or discredit somebody is sad. I agree. But the fact is, nobody's lying. Everything that's being said is true. We went over the whole context thing in the last video. And the SJWs just don't want to face reality. This is the reality of the situation. Over the past couple of years, Brie Larson has single-handedly derailed the momentum of Captain Marvel. That is the reality. You're gonna have to accept that at some point. Once again, I do not think that it will, but it's possible that this movie will do well, but that does not mean it has no impact on subsequent movies moving forward. You SJWs had to learn it with Solo, you're eventually going to have to learn it with the MCU if this keeps up the way it's going. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with whoever you think would be interested in nonsense like this. Subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can be alerted every time I post another one of these Philly cheesesteaks. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.